On June 4, 1942, two powerful fleets moved toward a small island in the Central Pacific. What happened in the next few hours would decide the future of the war and shift the balance of power in the entire region. This is the Battle of Midway, one of the most dramatic turning points of World War II. In this documentary, we will discuss how the battle began, the crucial decisions that shaped its outcome, and why this single day became a moment that changed history. 6 months earlier, the attack on Pearl Harbor had shocked the United States. Battleships lay damaged or sunk. Hundreds of aircraft were destroyed. The American public demanded a response, yet the Pacific Fleet had only 3 operational carriers left. Japan, meanwhile, expanded rapidly across the Pacific and Southeast Asia. Their navy was confident, experienced, and believed they could secure a long-term advantage before American industry woke up. Japanese leaders understood they had a small window of opportunity. If they could destroy the American carriers, the United States would lose its ability to project power in the Pacific. Without carriers, America could not defend its sea lines or halt Japanese expansion. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, commander of the combined fleet, believed only a major blow could force America to negotiate or slow its rebuilding. He proposed a new operation aimed at capturing Midway Atoll. Midway was small, but it was a key American outpost. Its runways supported aircraft that could observe Japanese movements and protect Hawaii. If Japan captured Midway, it could threaten Pearl Harbor again. Yamamoto's plan called for 4 carriers to strike Midway first, then lure American carriers into a trap. Behind the carriers, a large surface fleet of battleships and cruisers would wait to finish off any surviving American ships. The operation was large, complex, and depended on surprise. But secrecy failed. American codebreakers at Station HYPO in Pearl Harbor had made steady progress breaking the Japanese naval code JN-25. Analysts noticed repeated references to a location called AF. They suspected AF was Midway but needed proof. To confirm it, Midway sent a fake radio message saying its water system was damaged. Soon after, Japanese messages repeated that AF had a water shortage. This confirmed that Midway was the target. With this knowledge, Admiral Chester Nimitz prepared an ambush of his own. He ordered Task Force 16, built around USS Enterprise and USS Hornet, to take position northeast of Midway. USS Yorktown, still damaged from the Battle of the Coral Sea, was quickly repaired in a remarkable 72-hour effort and sent to join them. Nimitz knew he had fewer ships than Japan, but he had one advantage: he knew where and when the Japanese would strike. For Japan, the operation began in late May 1942. For carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, and Hiryu sailed together under Vice Admiral Chuchi Nagumo. Each carried dozens of aircraft, fighters, dive bombers, and torpedo bombers. These ships had taken part in Pearl Harbor and were crewed by experienced pilots. Their confidence was high. Behind them came battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and transport ships. Some units even moved toward the Aleutian Islands to distract American forces. Despite the large fleet, problems began early. Japanese submarines sent to scout American movements arrived late. Storms also slowed their search efforts. As a result, they failed to detect the American carriers sailing from Pearl Harbor. The Japanese fleet approached Midway without realizing they were being watched. Before sunrise on June 4, Midway's radar detected approaching aircraft. The first Japanese strike wave consisted of over 100 planes, fighters, bombers, and torpedo aircraft. They flew across the open ocean, gained altitude, and prepared to strike the island. Anti-aircraft crews on Midway braced for impact. At around 6:30 in the morning, the bombs began to fall. Fuel tanks exploded. Hangars burned. Runways were damaged but not destroyed. Midway's defenders kept firing, and a few American fighters took off to challenge the attackers. Many were shot down by experienced Japanese pilots, but the island still functioned. While the attack raged, American aircraft on Midway scrambled for a counterstrike. These included older models such as B-26s, B-17s, and torpedo bombers. These planes attempted to attack Japanese carriers but were intercepted. Many were lost. Their bombs missed. Although they failed to hit the carriers, their attacks forced the Japanese to maneuver and delayed their operations. Nagumo received a key message from his strike leader: Midway was damaged but not disabled. A second wave was recommended. Nagumo now faced a difficult choice. His reserve aircraft were armed with torpedoes for use against ships, but no American fleet had been sighted yet. Should he switch them to land bombs for a second strike on the island? Or keep them armed for naval combat in case U.S. carriers appeared? Nagumo chose to rearm for a second strike on Midway. Crew members began the slow and careful work of removing torpedoes, bringing up bombs, and rearranging aircraft inside the hangars. This process created a dangerous situation: fueled aircraft, explosives, and equipment crowded the decks. Right at this moment, American scout planes finally found the Japanese carriers. The report reached Admiral Spruance on USS Enterprise: enemy carriers located. Spruance knew timing was critical. If he waited too long, the Japanese would launch their own second strike. He ordered his aircraft to launch immediately, even though coordination between squadrons was imperfect. Pilots took off in groups, some without proper escort, but speed mattered more than formation. The first American planes to reach the Japanese fleet were torpedo bombers. They flew low, slow, and straight, making them easy targets. Hornet's Torpedo Squadron 8 attacked first. Every aircraft was shot down. No torpedoes hit. Then came the torpedo squadrons from Enterprise and Yorktown. They suffered the same fate. Japanese fighters shot down many of them before they could release their weapons. Some pilots ditched their planes in the ocean. Others disappeared in the smoke and waves. The attacks were tragic, but they were not meaningless. Japanese fighters were drawn down to sea level. Their fuel was low. Their formation became scattered. Meanwhile, the carrier decks remained filled with half-armed aircraft and exposed fuel lines. The Japanese fleet was in a vulnerable state, though no one on the ships realized how dangerous the moment had become. Around 10:20 a.m., the decisive moment arrived. Dive bombers from USS Enterprise and USS Yorktown, led by Lieutenant Commander Clarence McCluskey and Max Leslie, found the Japanese carriers almost simultaneously. Their arrival was partly luck, partly skill, and partly the result of following a lone Japanese destroyer that revealed the location of the main fleet. With Japanese fighters down low fighting the torpedo planes, the skies above the fleet were open. The American dive bombers began their steep dives. They aimed for the decks crowded with refueling planes. Akagi, Kaga, and Soryu were hit one after another. Bombs pierced decks, exploded in hangars, and ignited fuel and ammunition. Fires spread quickly. The carriers burned fiercely. Within minutes, 3 of Japan's 4 frontline carriers were disabled beyond repair. The hits were devastating. Kaga suffered multiple strikes and erupted in flames. Akagi took a single well-placed bomb that caused a chain reaction. Soryu was struck by several bombs that destroyed its flight deck. Smoke rose high into the sky. Crew members fought fires but soon abandoned the ships. The Japanese Navy had lost its core striking power in a single hour. Yet the battle continued. Hiryu, the last surviving Japanese carrier, launched 2 counterattacks. Its first wave of dive bombers found USS Yorktown. The carrier took 3 hits but survived through quick damage control. The second wave carried torpedoes. This attack was more destructive. Yorktown was hit again and eventually went dead in the water. Fletcher transferred command to a cruiser. Yorktown stayed afloat for a day but was later sunk by a Japanese submarine. Late in the afternoon, American dive bombers located Hiryu. They attacked from high altitude. Bombs hit the carrier's deck and triggered large fires. Hiryu was abandoned and sank later. With Hiryu gone, all 4 Japanese carriers involved in the operation were lost. The battle did not end instantly, but the outcome was decided. Without its carriers, Japan lost the ability to conduct long-range offensive operations. The pilots who perished were irreplaceable. Japanese industry could not rebuild carriers fast enough, nor train new aviators at the same pace as the United States. In the following days, both sides conducted limited attacks with ships and submarines. Damaged ships like Yorktown and the destroyer Hammond were attacked again, but the main action was over. On June 5 and 6, Japanese forces began to withdraw. The invasion of Midway was cancelled. The grand plan that aimed to destroy the American fleet had failed completely. The result changed the course of the war. The United States, though still early in its rebuilding process, gained the strategic advantage. With Japanese carriers destroyed, American forces could move forward across the Pacific. Future battles like Guadalcanal, Tarawa, and the Philippine Sea became possible because of what happened at Midway. The Battle of Midway showed how intelligence, fast decision-making, and the bravery of pilots could overcome a stronger force. The sacrifice of American torpedo squadrons cleared the way for dive bombers to strike. The work of codebreakers allowed Nimitz to set his trap. The skill of pilots and the ability of damage control teams kept American carriers in the fight longer than expected. Today, the story of Midway is remembered not only as a military victory but as an example of how information and courage can change the direction of history. The waters where the ships sank remain quiet now, holding the remains of vessels that once shaped the Pacific War. But the lessons of Midway, planning, risk, teamwork, and resilience, continue to be studied across the world. It is a reminder that even in the largest conflicts, a single day can shift the balance of power, and a few decisions made under pressure can alter the outcome of a war. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more history documentaries.